Well, Jeremy, first of all, thank you so much for having me this year. I have to say, Festival of Media is just such an extraordinary competition, and you guys bring together extraordinary leaders in across media, marketing, and advertising to compete, to share their work, and to be evaluated. And so I would say that just to be, selected or invited to judge the competition, that was, quite humbling and, I might say quite flattering. So of course, I just wanted to be a part of it. I am so excited to see the tremendous work from, around the various regions, and, just to, be exposed to the creativity and the innovation. And I have to say, as much as, I'm going to be on a panel and we're going to review the work and, crown, a couple of winners in this whole process, I really feel like I'm the winner because the creativity, the innovation, it is so inspiring. And that's the kind of thing that just fuels me day to day as I go about doing my work. I am hesitant to point to any particular platform because consumers just change so much. And, you'll hear me use the term consumers, audiences. I've been in media and entertainment for a bulk of my career, so you'll hear that tossed around any of those terms. But people, their preferences, their behaviors, their patterns, attitudes change all the time. And so I would, again, be hesitant to point to any particular platform. One thing that I think is going to continue is post COVID. I think that people still have sort of, they're excited to be back outside, and I think they still have that need and that craving for connection and for experiences. And so depending on your brand or your space, I think brands that can kind of seek out those opportunities to connect even more deeply with consumers and sort of give them those opportunities to kind of immerse themselves in some things that maybe are a little bit more tangible that they can actually experience and feel. I think those are the ones that are going to have sort of those lasting impressions. And so I think more experiences, more ability to connect in a deeper way and to build community, I think that's going to be something that you'll see continue as we move forward. I think some of the challenges are still the same, right? I just talked about how consumers are, they change a lot, and their preferences change. So here is where I will point to data. We are in a period of time where making decisions or just having the information is just so key, and data is so plentiful. I've been in this industry in media and marketing for many years, probably many more than I want to admit on screen today, and I can just before my entertainment career, I started my career at Kraft Foods. So even then, back in those days, we were digging into data, Nielsen data, and so forth, and on our own proprietary platform. So data is something that's not new to me. I think what's different now is that the volume of data is so massive, and I think for brands being able, it's both a challenge, but then great opportunity because we have so much of it. There are all sorts of breadcrumbs and signs and signals about what people are doing, what they're needing, what they need, just sort of what they're interested in. And so there's a lot to glean from. And so I think the challenge in this, and as I said, it's both a challenge and an opportunity. I think being able to collect and gather the data, being able to process it or analyze it, synthesize it, and then dig in and really figure out, so what are the ahas that we're finding across all of this, and being able to kind of stitch it together because it is coming from so many different places, and to be able to kind of have that one view of single view of a customer. All of that is going to be able in the end, hopefully, if you're able to do it quickly and carefully, you're able to spot those sort of aha moments that you can turn into actionable insights. And I think into action. And I think at the end of the day, that's what you want. You want to be able to take all of this stuff and not be overwhelmed by it or taken off your sort of path and your purpose, but be able to take it, use it to influence your decisions or to help shape the decisions and to better meet your consumer needs. Well, that's a great question. And just, hopefully your view of the screen is this beautiful shelf behind me, which, as you can see, I'm an avid reader, so I read everything. And some of this you might say, well, this books on the shelf were published years and years ago, so some of that knowledge is stale. I have to tell you, some of the fundamentals still serve me very, very well, and so it's always great to be grounded in some of the marketing fundamentals. And again, I just kind of have a lot of great materials around me that I can always use as a reference. But beyond that, of course, you need to be current. You need to stay current and be uh, uh, up on sort of what is going on today. And so, I subscribe to several newsletters that kind of drop in my inbox daily, give me a little bit of daily digest on the important things to know going on in my industry right now. I'm someone who is very much a part of everything that's happening with digital media and social media. So I'm on the platforms. I, believe it or not, am on TikTok. I'm looking at the different trends and I'm kind of seeing what's popping, with audiences. I continue to want to be, anytime I have an opportunity, actually engaged face to face with people. And I talked about experiences earlier, and just being in the media and entertainment industry and putting content out in the world and putting shows out in the world. We've often had opportunities in my line of work to do live events. And so when I'm able to, even in those situations, talk with real people and just kind of see and hear from them, that means a lot, to me. And it just, inspires me as I do my work. But, my ability or my opportunity just to kind of stay up on what's going on really comes from a lot of different sources. And I really try to leverage it all and read as much as I can, be immersed in the platforms and just really try to stay engaged. But one in particular that just really actually like stopped me. And then I had to kind of go back and dig in and see, well, who put that out, and just get a little bit of history on the campaign. The name of the campaign, and I think it was broader than maybe the 30 or 60 second spot that I so happened to catch on television. I think it was a broader content creation. It was called, or it is called, Widen the Screen.
Right.
And essentially, it was some work that was done by P&G and alongside a partner, Uninterrupted, another company that is very much culture forward. And what the campaign centered on was basically, if when you see only so much in the screen, you can create or form a perception, or have be a little bit maybe biased, or you're only seeing like a little narrow view of it. And of course, this was dealing with sort of how we view other people, right? And we all understand and sort of know that there is bias in society when you view maybe particular cultures or people or backgrounds and so forth. And so in this particular spot, you saw only a slice of life, let's say. And as I said, you would kind of form a perception, and oftentimes maybe it's not so positive, like this person's up to something that's mischievous, or they're up to no good, and that type of thing. And then the screen, and on screen, you saw the lens kind of widen, and it showed you the full picture. So here's a young man, let's just say, who was maybe coming out of a convenience store, right? And so the way that it was shot at first maybe looked a little shady, like what he's doing. But then when the screen was widened, what you saw was he was gathering or getting some gifts and so forth to then go back to his residence for his little girl's birthday party. And so whoever put it's so I hope I'm not, mischaracterizing or botching this in any way, but this is what I remembered. And to me, it was so powerful because it really did have an impression on me. Like, yeah, that's right. If we could all just do that, maybe take a pause and really try to understand, someone else's perspective, or see something in our neighbor or in, another person that doesn't always kind of go to the negative. I thought that was really powerful. And another piece of that I thought was really important this was, as I said, a piece that was done by P&G, and P&G products are everywhere. What it made me kind of think about P&G, and I'm sure I have plenty of products here around my home that are under their various brands and companies, but it gave me a positive, very positive impression, about the company and some place where I would want to spend my money. And so I think earlier you asked me about trends. If I could just maybe even circle back to that, I think consumers are savvy, and they don't want their dollars and their time spent in places that they don't feel good about, right? And
Yes.
so for a brand to build that type of feeling and that kind of connection with an audience, I think that that work was just very powerful. It's a very powerful message. It was a great campaign, and as I said, it stopped me so much so that I went and I looked it up and I just kind of researched it a little bit, and yeah, so that was one that stuck with me a lot. Great question. And interestingly enough, I think it's maybe a little bit connected to what I just shared. I love to see work that where I can, where I can tell that, I understand the challenge that was presented, but then I can, see, the strategic thinking, behind the work. And I love, work that is purposeful. I mean, it has purpose and that delivers an impact for, the audience or for, the challenge that they were trying to accomplish. And so for me, purpose-driven work that has impact, great meaning, and that moves me. Work that has kind of stirs up that connection, or it stirs up something bigger, stirs up some emotion inside that I'll walk away and I'll and I can say, wow, that was pretty powerful, and it really hit the mark.